the practice. And I don't know where Sophie is, but let's just get started, guys. Why not? Let's do some ear training stuff. And so I looked over, we're all doing very well at ear training. It's a really hard skill to learn, and we're all doing very well. But I thought that rhythm is throwing some people some problems. So I'm going to go back and sort of do some basics on rhythm. But what I'd like you guys to do is when we finish a section, um, because I'm not going to look at your work, I'll give you the answers. Give me a rating of 1 to 10, where 10 is this is easy for me, and 1 is this is impossible for me. And by looking at the ratings each time we do these things, I can decide what level the next projects could be. I can plan the courses better. So send it in private chat. Not trying to embarrass you. I don't need to know exactly what you got right or wrong. I just need your impression. So, if you put a 5, I know you want more practice. If you put a 1, I know you need lots of practice. If I put a 10 up there, then the assignments are just too easy, and it gives me a chance to do a better job for you. Okay, so if we agree to that, let's begin, because I've got some rhythm for you. And what I'm going to do is I've got in 4/4 time, and I've got just little one rhythm patterns. And I'm going to play each one twice. And then after we're done with all of them, we'll go back and check them. But let's just see if we just have a measure and we hear it twice, if that's going to be hard or easy for us. Okay? Does that sound like a plan? I get a thumbs up, so it sounds like a plan. All right, here we go. Wait, I'll give you 30 seconds to get a pencil out. And again, it's best if you write it with actual stems. Okay, 15 seconds. And let's start. So the beat is just basically 1, 2, something like that. It's about that speed. I don't know exactly, but it's about 1 beat per second. And here's the first exercise. Let's try that a second time. Our second one is this one. And hearing it again. Here's our third one. And hearing that one again. Our fourth one. And again. The next one. Second time for that one.
Was that the fifth one? Or was that the fourth one?
I think that was the fifth. but I'm not sure. I always think 11. Yes, that was the fifth one, I think.
Okay.
Are you missing one, or is that good?
Well, could you play it one more time if that's okay?
Sure. All right, sixth one. Sixth one again. And the seventh one. Seventh one more time. All right, so let's take a look at the correct answers. So, guys, there's two things. I do want you to put a number from 1 to 10 in the chat when we're done with this, but also if there's a particular rhythm that was hard for you, like a dotted quarter, an eighth, or something, then put that in so I know what to focus on and I don't waste time on the easy stuff. Okay, so here's the correct answers, and I'm going to play them as we see them. The first one is just, whoops, why did you stop playing? Okay, here's the first one. I'll play them as you look at them so you can see how they work. It's the first one. Second one. Here comes the third. Fourth one. Fifth one. In 1 second, I have to. Okay. We're going to hear the fourth one more time. Here comes the fifth one. Six. And the hardest one, 7. Oops. So, throw me the stuff in chat, guys.
I have a question about number 5.
Yes.
So I think this is just more of like a notating thing, but unless if it's not, but would it sound differently if the 3 what are they called? Eighth notes are tied together?
You mean, you don't mean tied, you mean
Yes,
with a beam.
yeah, with a beam.
It would not sound different, but it would be harder to play. Let me just show you why. Let me bring the screen back. So number 5 is this one, right? And what you're asking is, what happens if I did this?
Yeah.
That would sound exactly the same. 1 and 2, ba 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 ba. But in when musicians are looking, they try to group things in their mind in beats, and that would look like this is one beat and this is one beat. That would look like 6/8, and then all of a sudden you have a quarter note. That could be very confusing. It's not impossible, but
Mm-hmm.
it'd be confusing in 4/4. If I was in 8/8, it's possible to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 for accent pattern. So
Mhm.
that's just hard to see where the accents fall. So musicians prefer to see it this way because then they can see that the beat is here and there's a beat in here someplace, the beat's here. So we beam it by beats and it will sound exactly the same, but now the musicians can see where the strong beats are, the accents are. So this is a better notation for someone who's sight reading, but
Mhm.
the rhythms are the same. So if you put a beam in there, it's not great notation, but the rhythm is correct.
Okay.
Was that a good enough answer?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I've got one person has already sent me a number, and now somebody else has. Okay. All right. So that gives me a sense of where we are. Um, and I'm going to do this each class because I want to design custom made things for you guys. So anyone who's missing, they don't get to be part of the custom made. Ha 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 ha. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's new. We've done intervals like um, we've done intervals like let's see. I've got to make sure. I'm sorry, guys. We've done intervals like what we call melodic intervals, where you actually we play them as if they're melody. You say, "Oh, that's a major third, that's a minor third," and if you want me to go back to all that, I will. But right now, I'd like to try what happens if we hit an octave or above. So I'm going to play 4 intervals or 5 intervals. I can't remember how many I wrote down. I think it may be 5, and they're all either an octave, a ninth, or a tenth. And remember, octaves are perfect. Ninths and tenths can exist in major and minor. Now, just to help you, if I write a ninth, that's the same as a second, right? Anytime you want to convert an interval, subtract 7. So a ninth and a seventh is the same thing, just with an octave in between. So that would be a ninth. This would be the second. Same notes. So if you can't hear a ninth, you try to get the notes in your head and shrink it by an octave. And then you say, oh, do, re, that's a major second, therefore it's a major ninth. So it's a little tricky, and I just want to see how tricky it is. So I'm going to play 5 intervals. Remember, they're either perfect octaves, major or minor ninths, or major minor tenths, and tenths are the same as thirds. You just have an octave in between, so we subtract 7. 10 becomes a third. So again, that's a tenth, major third, major tenth, minor ninth, minor third. So we're just adding an octave in between. Might be incredibly confusing, or you may find it easy. I want to know where we are with it. So let's give it a shot. And I'll play each interval 3 times. Here's the first interval. Again. And again. Okay, and now I'm going to play it the second interval 3 times. The second time, and the third time. Third interval. Second time. And a third time. Next interval. Let's do it a second time. And a third time. And the last interval. Again. And one more time. Now, what I'm going to do before I show you the answers is I'm going to play them one more time, and then right after I play them, I'm going to play them with the octave taken away. So you're going to hear them in a pair, the interval we're trying to learn, and then an interval you've probably know. So this is a way you can see if you can check it against small intervals and how good your harmonic intervals are. And if they're not good, that's important to know too. So here we go. First interval and the second version. Second interval. Third interval. Fourth interval. And the last interval. All right. Let's take a look at the answers. Um, okay. And again, I'm just going to play them so you can see them. And I'll tell you, so the first one is a tenth. And this, I'm sorry, it's an octave. I lied to you. It's an octave. And you can tell because when we bring the bottom one up, they're the same note. The second one is a minor tenth. When we bring it up an octave, it's a third, a minor third. So if we hear that one, whoops. If we hear that one, we get. The next one is a major ninth because when we bring it up by an octave, we get a major second. Now we have a minor ninth. We go up an octave, it's a minor second. And the last one is a major 10th because we go up an octave, it's a major third. So in the chat, guys, please tell me if that was very hard or easy. And when you have the smaller intervals, the less than an octave, if those are still giving you trouble or if you want more practice with those. So please throw your information in the chat for me. Okay, that's a very interesting answer. So writing down as seconds and thirds as long as they're correct, it's a good start. Then it's just a matter of remembering to add the octave to put the ninths and tenths. But if you heard it the right intervals, I'm very happy. And I saw, singing is when we're alone, it's easy to sing. When we're in a classroom, you kind of have to hum under your breath so you don't disturb people. It's harder. So, but it sounds to me like you guys have good pitch ears, and we'll spend a little time on it. But I'm happy. So let's do the next exercise, which is melodic as a harmonic interval. So a harmonic interval is when the two notes are played simultaneously. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to play the harmonics 3 times, and then I will play a melodic version of it once, just so you can check it. We're going to go through each one, and then we'll compare and see how well we're doing. I think, let me just make sure. I think I didn't go beyond, what intervals did I go beyond? I think I was doing seconds and thirds only. So these are melodic, played as a harmonic, played simultaneously. They're seconds or thirds, major or minor. So there's 4 possibilities for each one. Let's see how we do. This is good practice. So here's the first interval. Let's hear it again. And now a third time. If we split those 2 notes apart, they become this. Second interval. Let's do that one again. A third time. And now split apart. Let's do a third interval. Again. And the third time. And now split apart. Last interval. I'm sorry. I should have told you. Second time. Third time. Sorry. And now split apart. All right, let's check out the correct answers. And then again, send me your comments, please, with numbers. Okay, so the first interval, and I will play them, you can see is actually a minor second. When it's played together, it sounds like this. And separately sounds like this. Second interval is a minor third. And it sounds like this. The third one you can see here is a major second. And split apart, it sounds like this. And 1 second. Then the last interval is a minor third again. And it splits apart like this. Okay. So send me comments, guys. Okay. Huh. Okay, that's very interesting and better than I would have expected. I think that's because it's a hard thing for me to do. So I assume it's hard for everybody. Just did pretty well. Doesn't mean we won't practice it, but I can move up a notch on that one. Excellent. So now we have the culmination. We're going to do some melody dictation, and I'm going to do this. The first one is they're all 2 measures long. The first one's only quarter notes. After that, I start adding rhythms. So we're just going to see if we could do a 2-measure melody with all that we have learned. And let's just see, this is obviously when we put it all together, and that means that it's harder. And I'll play each one 3 times. So, and they're all in different keys. So the first one, so do we all have manuscript paper? Give me thumbs up if you've got, if you lined your own or if you have manuscript paper, whatever you've got, just let me know you're ready. Good. Okay. Man, you guys are fantastic. So the first one is in G major. Everything will be in major. This is in G major, but we're not going to start on G. We're going to start on B. We start on B in the key of G major. So we start on Mi, the 3rd note of the scale. And I'm going to play it 3 times. Here's the first time. G major. Oops. Did it again. Okay, one more time, starting on a B in the key of G major, 2 measures. Second time. Let's do a third time. Okay, our next one is the key of A major, and it starts on an A. And I'll play an A major scale so you can hear what it sounds like. So we're at A. I will tell you this one has eighths and quarter notes. So there's rhythm's a little more complex. Starting on an A. Is 3 times enough, guys, or do you need to hear it 4 times? If it's enough, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, Leslie wants 4. I'm going to do this one 4 times. If we need to, we'll go back to the first one also. But here's 4 times through it's in A major, starting at A. Here we go. A second time. Third time. Sorry, we'll try again. Sorry, I hit a keyboard. Third time. And the final time. All right, our last melody is in bass clef, and it's in the key of F. So put in the key signature. It starts on F. We add one more rhythmic figure to this, just so you're not surprised. I'll play it 4 times. Here's the first time. Let's hear that a second time. Let's hear it a third time. Whoops. And the last time. All right, let's take a look at the answers and see how we're doing. So the first one is the key of G. That means it's got one sharp, and it starts on B, on me. So it's do, re. And let's see what it does. It's all quarter notes and everything's stepwise except for this one skip. The skip of a fifth is tricky. Let's listen to it and see how we do. And we either have to hear that fifth or hear that it's so in the key. This is the fifth degree of the scale. The second one's in A, so that means we have three sharps starting on A. If you look at the rhythm, we've got some eighth notes mixed in here with our quarter notes. And otherwise, everything is stepwise. So the notes aren't as hard as the rhythms. Here we go. The last one is the hard one because, first of all, I mean, the first thing is we're in key of F, which is B flat there, but we're in bass clef, which most people find harder to read. Most people spend more time in treble clef. But the other thing is we've got that dotted rhythm and we've got some skips, a skip of a third, a skip of a fourth, back down to third. So this one's the hard one. Let's give it a listen. Of course, that first skip goes back down to tonic, so it makes it easier to hear it, but still, it's got leaps in it, lots of leaps. So I'm going to the chat, guys. Tell me how you did. I think I'm going to the chat. Where are you, chat? Here. Well, you all did very well with that, and I've been accused by one of you of plagiarism. This is probably true. So, yeah, so it seems to me that you're both doing very well. If there's a weak spot, it's still in the rhythm, and we're still learning some of the tricks about melodic intervals and stuff. But your ears are very good. So we've got 10 minutes left. Do you want to do a little bit more rhythm exercise, or are you tired, guys? I find ear training exhausting. I'm happy to give you 10 minutes of rhythm, or I'm happy to let you go a few minutes early. Put it in the chat so no one knows what you're saying. Tell me if you'd like me to do some rhythm exercise or if you'd like to get a 10-minute break. All right. One person wants something. Okay, we're doing some rhythm. I'm going to change it to 3/4 just to make it a little more interesting. And give me a second to write out some rhythms for you. Again, I'm just going to do 1 and 2 measure patterns. But let's make them 3/4 because variety is the spice of life. Okay, let's see. Um, okay, so I've got 3 more to try out on you. The first two are 2 measures long. The last one is 3 measures long. I'll play each one 3 times. They're in 3/4, the same tempo. I haven't changed tempo. Is quarter notes, eighth notes, and half notes in some order. So here's the first one, 2 measures long. Let's give it a shot. Oh, did it again. I will eventually learn this technology. I do promise. Okay, first one. And remember, it's in 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. 1, because the computer won't play the accents for us. Second time. And third time. You know, I think I rushed you a little. I'm going to play this one a fourth time just to make sure I didn't rush you in the middle. Here's the second one. This is also 2 measures long. A second time. And a third time. All right, this last one is 3 measures long, and I'm going to play it 4 times. It's a little tricky, and it's a little longer. 4 times through. Second time. And a third time. And now the last time. All right, let's check our answers. So the first one, just quarters and eighths. And the hard part is that accent doesn't feel right without the computer. I'll put an accent on it. You'll hear how it sounds a little bit better. Okay. Come on. Thank you. Here we go. The second one has some syncopation, so it's a little tricky. Here we go. And the third one has a hemiola. That's why it's an extra measure long, and that's quite tricky unless you get used to it. All right. Tell me how that went. Send me notes in chat. Okay. Excellent. Still waiting for another note. Okay, so it's again, I think that we're doing better and better all the time. That hemiola still can throw people. The accent just doesn't fall where you expect it. So we're going to practice those, and we're going to practice some compound meter. But we're going to try to rebuild. I think you guys have learned a ton. but sometimes going backwards and reinforcing, then going forwards is good. And we're going to play that back and forth game, and we'll keep checking in each time. So thank you so much for working so hard. As always, if you want to review this, I'm going to post it on the YouTube channel. And guys, it's great to at least hear your voices. I don't see your faces, but I'll survive this time. I'll see you all tomorrow, and as we do some diminished seventh chords. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.